Hello to whoever watching this. I am Luvky and you're watching Luvky Vandals. So now, as we all know, Taylor Swift is reportedly getting married this year, and God bless, I am happy for her, but that is a part of her personal life. And for her professional life, she is the youngest person ever to get inducted in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. To celebrate that, she could release debut TV or Reputation TV or an entirely new album. Who knows? Because I have learned one thing, that Blondie always has some tricks up her sleeve. But I physically cannot wait for that long. So since she doesn't want to show herself, I thought it might be a fun moment for me to just create some ideas for the Life of a Showgirl tour. And before I start, I just wanted to tell you that if someone is watching this, hopefully someone is, please like this video and subscribe to my channel because that would really help me make more videos. So starting off with the most important part of the tour's name. So she could call it whatever she wants, but I have two titles that could be the name of the tour. Number one is obviously the Life of a Showgirl tour. But the second one is a little bit more interesting, a bit more leaning towards the album. It is the Tour of a Showgirl. I really like the second one. Not sure that she would use it, but let's just hope for the best. Now, I want this whole tour to give like very vintage vibes, like very 60s and like 50s, with like orange lighting, and everything would be extremely showgirl and like bejeweled and like shiny. I have written everything in my notes. It's like full of it. So let me just read it down for you. So do you know the changes between the sets where we see graphics on the big screen? Like take it, the Lover house burning down between Lover and Fearless, where she goes to change her costume and we start a new set. So I had this brilliant idea that we are going to use the poems that she wrote for the album to change the sets. So this is the staging I want to have. There's like a huge stage with like a longer walking stage. At the end there is a star. Now I don't know if anyone of you remember this, but on the Speak Now tour she opened and closed the shows with red drapes. And that was insanely showgirl for her. I'm really sad that I didn't attend those shows because I was 3 years old. Really happy. Okay, so starting off with the first set and our first poem. She would start the show with the poem, Baby That's Show Business For You. The show would start with the red drapes opening and we see set design. It's like beautiful, and suddenly a bed rises up and in it our diva is laying down staring directly at the crowd. And as the last lines of the poem get played, she gets up and sings the opening song, The Fate of Ophelia. I want this set design to be like a big tower with like a grand staircase, something similar that she had in the Love Story music video. So after the first verse, she's like walking up the stairs and she'll be like, London, welcome to the Tour of a Showgirl, how are you feeling tonight? And she could introduce herself and introduce the tour and like give her a little speech that she always gives. She's singing the song and at the end she locks herself in the tower and she's staring out the window. She sees a man and starts to perform her second song, Love Story. So she walks down again and she's dancing with this man. Love Story is over and we go to our third song, Guilty as Sin. Now I know Guilty as Sin may not be appearing to as a showgirl song, but it is insanely showgirl. So she's sitting on the grand staircase, she's performing a song, and as the song ends we go straight into Fresh Out the Slammer and the crowd goes crazy. The crowd goes nuts. And I want her to be wearing this like white type of dress similar to what she wore in the Fate of Ophelia music video with like a longer sleeves, because I really want this set to give like 1600s and whatever that she was giving in the music video. I wanted it to look like a painting and it would be so vintage. So as she finishes Fresh Out the Slammer, she leaves and we hear our second poem, The Outside. I know The Outside is a song, that's not a poem, she could sing it, but no, I really wanted her to interlude this song into a poem and have it before these sets. So as she's gone and the poem is playing, we are having a set change. So now the castle and the staircase is gone and we have a dimly lit house party room with like a living room kind of vibe, like very cozy but really vintage. So she comes on the stage, she's wearing the sequin number, something like this or maybe something like this, and she sings Ruin the Friendship. It's such a Taylor Swift song, banger music with heart-wrenching lyrics, and it's just such an important part of the album. She will add it to the show. So after that we go into the one and only debut song on the set list, that is Our Song. Our Song really was the first time that we started to see this performer in the music videos where she was singing and wearing these outfits. That was really cutesy. And it is kind of showgirl, so she could add it. And after that she performs the sweetest mashup of Honey and Wishlist. Because obviously she is touring the album that she released in October, so she has to have songs from that album on the tour. So she's performing Wishlist and Honey, and as she sings the last line, I just want you, she goes down back on stage, and we hear our third poem between the set changes and the costume changes, and that is The Shiny Bug. So in case y'all haven't read any poems, I will link it down below. You can definitely go and read them to get more context about it. So as the poem The Shiny Bug ends, the light goes out and we hear snakes. Taylor rises up on the stage with all her background dancers and does the cuntiest performance of I Did Something Bad ever. I would have actually died if I was there at the Reputation Tour 2018 when she was performing and she brought out Karen. That would be the end of me if I see it again. I want her to be wearing this like black strapless number like with gloves. I really found this cunt image on Pinterest. I would paste it here if you can see it. I really want her to be wearing something similar to that. After the song ends, she would put on this cuntiest fur jacket or like a huge coat. She would sit on a throne that is inside this cage and it would start flying and we would hear cancelled. Now, I have seen a lot of discourse about this song online, but not on my watch. Not on the Life of a Showgirl tour. If you don't like it, leave. Don't buy tickets. So she would be flying around the stadium performing it and the crowd will go crazy over it. So as the song ends, she would come down back again, get out of the cage, remove that jacket and perform Look What You Made Me Do. Yes, she would perform that song. It is so camp, it is so cunty, so showgirl, and that's what we need on this tour. We do not need another Illicit Affairs or My Tears Ricochet or Tolerated. This is the Life of a Showgirl tour. So she would perform Look What You Made Me Do, the crowd is wild. And then she would approach the star part of the stage and she would sit on a chair. She puts on this little black sheer number and she would perform the most gorgeous mashup of Dress, I Don't Wanna Live Forever, and I'm Gonna Get You Back on guitar. Now she could just do I'm Gonna Get You Back and I would be screaming, crying, throwing up, punch me in the face. But I really want to hear this medley sing live with full band. People would go nuts over it. I really want this set to look very clean, with some like vintage carpet designs on the stage, but nothing else at all. So as the set ends, she would go down again and we would have our fourth poem, which is Sweat and Vanilla Perfume. Now I want this next set to look like a dressing room with like a dressing table with mirror and like closet and everything is just so orange. That would be really nice. So she would not come out on stage, she would be sitting there and the spotlight would fall on her and she would sing the first song, Maroon. Now I know Miss Swift is dying to perform that song full live with band. And who can blame her? That is a banger, which is exactly why I added it on the set list. So after she sings Maroon, I want her to perform Dear Reader. Most of y'all think the Showgirl tour is all about glamour and dance and party, but no. Showgirls can be sad and vulnerable and sexy and sassy and kind and giving and revenge and everything. And Dear Reader is a Showgirl song so bad. I'm really thinking of her outfit to be something like Marilyn Monroe wore on Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that pink outfit but with no jewels. As Dear Reader is ending, her backup dancers are preparing her for the show. They're making her wear these jewels and these necklaces with these bracelets, and they would take her at the center of the stage, which has this huge staircase, and there are like a lot of male dancers in suits standing there. So after Dear Reader, she performs Material Girl by Madonna. Before y'all jump at me, this is just my opinion, but this is not going to be the first time that Taylor has sung someone else's song on her tour. She has performed What Goes Around Comes Around by Justin Timberlake with You're Not Sorry at the Fearless tour. And she has performed Apologize by One Republic with Back to December during the Speak Now tour. She could do it again, and I really hope that she does it again. Because whenever I think of Showgirl songs, Material Girl is the first thing that comes into my mind. She's a material girl, she's getting carried around by her male backup dancers and they put her down, and as the song ends, we go straight into Elizabeth Taylor, which is of course because Elizabeth Taylor was also a showgirl. She's just such a crucial part of Taylor's career, and this song is like the most showgirl song on the album, so she has to sing it. She sings Elizabeth Taylor, then she goes back to the dressing room where the table is now turned into a piano and she sings Eldest Daughter. I do not really enjoy Eldest Daughter as a song, but I feel like that is just so important to her and she has to include it. So this is the perfect place to include it, because now we're changing sets. As Eldest Daughter ends, she goes back down and we have our fifth poem, The Crowd Is Your King. Again, if you don't know these poems, you could definitely click the link below to read them to get more context about it. So now the set is changed and we are at like a burlesque cabaret club from the 1960s. So Taylor rises up on the stage and she's wearing this exact same dress. Yes, I want her to be dressed as Barbie for this set. or should I say boring Barbie. You guessed it right, she's going to perform Actually Romantic. The crowd will officially be declared dead because after Actually Romantic, she would perform Better Than Revenge. I really want this set to look like she's like bloodthirsty, but not for men, but for petty bitches. And after that, I want her to perform I Think He Knows, because that is just such a good song and that would just go crazy live, but she has not given it to us yet, and I really want her to do it. After I Think He Knows, she could perform Style, because that is just, why not? She loves that song and clearly crowd loves it too. And the crowd is your king. So after that, I want her to put on a little jacket with like gold and silver details maybe. And she would perform Wood. Now if any one of you hates Wood, out the door. So she would perform Wood and the lights go out and we hear her walking. This is going to be extremely cinematic. She would sit down on a chair. Maybe we could have that thrown back. And she would perform Father Figure. Not the father figure you think, but Father Figure by George Michael. Yes. And then we can mash it up with our own father figure. And I think that would be such a slick move to maybe pay homage to him, and the crowd will love it too. Because again, the crowd is your king. And after father figure, the whole set would go down again. And we have our sixth poem, The Tiny Bubbles and Champagne. The whole set would go down. We just have the red drapes with this specific mic. Taylor would walk out, no special entry, and she would go and sing as she is performing at a late night show. She would do Holy Ground, Into Lucky One, Into the Wildest Dreams. Now, I didn't just choose these songs because they're my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. No. I chose these songs because they're insanely showgirl, and the Lucky One and Holy Ground are like so overlooked by her, and she needs to acknowledge these banger songs immediately. So after this, we have our surprise song set. She could pick up her guitar, she could perform surprise songs. I want her to perform Mirror Ball on the first night because why not? She could really bring out any special guests that she wants. Now, for the dress, I really want her to be wearing something exactly like this, straight out of painting from the 1500s. I really want her to give like old ancient times. Be just so elegant for these songs and this set. She would rock these dresses. We've been knowing this. So this set would also end and she would go down again, and we would have our seventh costume change and our seventh poem, which is Delicate. This ain't for the best, my reputation's never been worse, so you must like me for me. That pretty much sums up Taylor's entire career and her entire life in 2 sentences. Now, she could perform this song if she wants to, but I really think that it could go better with the interlude poem that I made it. I really want this set to give, have y'all seen those circle stairs at the circus? I really want this set to give that, but with like red carpet with gold details. Now, she would pop out and she's wearing this 2-piece set which is like bejeweled. And it's just so shiny and it's dangly, and you guessed it right, she's going to do Bejeweled. Because of course, how is the Showgirl Tour will be Showgirl Tour without Bejeweled? It just can't. So after Bejeweled, we do the Heart of the Showgirl album, Opalite. I really wanted this set to give sparkly sunshine and rainbows with like happy tracks, and the crowd is just so cheering up, because then we go straight into Shake It Off. Because again, just because it has modern lyrics and does not have this saxophone cabaret style music doesn't make it any less showgirl, and I would go crazy over it. So this set would also end, she would go down, and we have our final outfit change and our final poem, The Life of a Showgirl. I really want this set to look like a vintage cabaret showgirl hall in Vegas. She would come out, she would wear something similar to this, and I tried to make it orange, and she would do The Life of a Showgirl song. She would end the show by bowing and saying the exact same lines as she and Sabrina say in the song. The curtains will close and the show will be over. I'm not like pressuring her into anything. I'm very happy for whatever is going on with her life. She has toured for 2 years straight, and that is not normal for any human beings. I know that she's exhausted. She just made an album. She's just doing too much. But we also know that she's very hyper productive. So if you like this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, because to be honest, I've been making this video since 2 p.m. It's now currently 10 p.m. and I haven't even eaten anything because I'm like constantly recording. I would be really glad if you like this video and just subscribe to my channel, and do tell me that if you want to add something or take away something from this tour, and do tell me why. Now, there are songs that's not on my set list. I think she would definitely perform it if she wants. And they are Mean, Clara Bow, Cruel Summer, Anti-Hero, You're on Your Own Kid, The Man, Ready for It, and anything from folklore or evermore. People don't understand that being a showgirl isn't just always having this glamorous life. You could be suffering from depression or feeling like you don't fit in, maybe just letting it all go and getting clean or getting drunk. You could be anything, and that's how you love the life of a showgirl. Good night.